Imagine discovering that what you put on your plate every day, believing it's good for your health, may actually be keeping you away from the vitality and freedom you so deserve. It may seem hard to believe, but there are seeds that, after 60, can transform into true silent traps inside your body. They are small foods, seemingly harmless, but they can sabotage your digestion, increase inflammation, and even steal your energy without you noticing. And the worst part is that many people continue consuming these seeds thinking they are protecting their health, when in fact they are undermining their own well-being. If you want to know what these 5 dangerous seeds are that need to leave your routine as soon as possible, stay with me, because what you will discover here can make all the difference for your next years of life. Perhaps you're thinking that seeds are natural, sources of fiber, protein, and that everyone talks about their benefits. And it's true, many seeds are wonderful for health. But what almost no one mentions is that at certain stages of life, such as after 60, the body undergoes important changes. The digestive system no longer functions with the same efficiency. The ability to absorb nutrients changes, and some seeds that were once easily tolerated can begin to cause serious problems. These seeds, rich in anti-nutrients, difficult to digest and, in some cases, even allergenic, can aggravate inflammation in the body, impair digestion, interfere with the absorption of essential vitamins and minerals, as well as cause discomforts that accumulate and directly affect quality of life. And the worst part is that the signs of these problems don't always appear in an obvious way. They manifest gradually as constant fatigue, abdominal bloating, joint pain, sleep problems, mood changes, and even weakened immunity. To better illustrate everything we're discussing here, I want to tell you the story of George, 72 years old. For many years, he was extremely careful with his diet. He always liked to stay informed, watch health programs, read articles about how to maintain vitality and well-being. In one of these readings, he discovered the benefits of seeds and decided to incorporate them daily into his diet. In the morning, he would blend a vitamin-packed smoothie with various mixed seeds. At lunch, he would add seeds to salads. For snacks, another portion of seeds for energy. He did this believing he was building a healthier future for himself. But, as the months passed, George began to notice some strange changes. First came the abdominal discomfort, which he attributed to stress. Then, joint pain began to appear without apparent reason. Sleep, which had always been peaceful, began to be interrupted by episodes of discomfort or restlessness. And gradually, even his mood began to change. He, who had always been cheerful and willing, began to feel irritated and discouraged without explanation. It was only after much investigation, talking with specialists and reviewing his eating habits, that he discovered the source of so many problems. Some of the seeds he was consuming in excess were inflaming his body, disrupting digestion, overloading his liver, and unbalancing his intestinal flora. What he was doing with such care to look after his health was, in fact, silently harming his body. This story is more common than you might imagine, and it may be that you or someone you know is going through exactly this without realizing it. The big challenge is that the symptoms are often attributed to age, fatigue, or the stress of modern life. But in reality, the body is trying to signal that something in the dietary routine needs to be adjusted. When we ignore these signals, the problem intensifies, compromising mobility, the disposition for simple daily activities, sleep quality, and even immunity. And all this can result in a less active, more painful, and limited life than it should be. It is very important to understand that after 60, our body needs even more specific care. What was good for us in other phases of life may need to be adapted. And this doesn't mean weakness, quite the contrary. It means wisdom. It means listening to the body and respecting its new needs. It means seeking a long life full of vitality with awareness and self-love. It's not anyone's fault for not knowing this. This information is not as widely disseminated as it should be. Many campaigns talk about the benefits of certain foods without considering that our body changes over time. So, if you have consumed or still consume seeds believing you are doing the best for your health, rest assured, you are acting with the best of intentions, just like George. And it's precisely this desire to take care of yourself, to live longer and better, that will help you correct course and further strengthen your body. Throughout this video, you will discover which seeds may pose a danger to those over 60. But above all, we will show you simple, practical, and safe solutions so you can continue enjoying all the benefits that nature has to offer without taking unnecessary risks. We'll talk about how to replace these seeds with alternatives that are friendlier to your body, how to prepare your food in ways that protect your health, and how small changes can bring enormous improvements to your daily life. Rest assured, because by the end of this video you will learn solutions that really work, solutions that respect your pace, your history, and your goals of living well, with energy, disposition, and joy. You are not alone on this journey. We are here to walk alongside you, bringing quality information, and most importantly, hope, because taking care of your health is an act of love, and it's possible to do this in a light, pleasant, and efficient way at any stage of life. Now think with me. How many times have you felt some discomfort in your body and thought it was just the weight of age? How many poorly slept nights, how many days of inexplicable fatigue have you faced without imagining that the root of the problem could be in your diet? Know that this is much more common than it seems. And the good news is that, in the vast majority of cases with some simple adjustments, it's possible to reverse this situation and achieve a much better quality of life. Many specialists in nutrition for the elderly warn that diet is the key to aging well, but not just any type of diet. It's necessary to know what truly nourishes and strengthens, and what, despite appearing healthy, can cause silent damage. Seeds, despite being a source of important nutrients, also carry anti-nutrients that, in excess or when poorly prepared, can prevent the absorption of iron, calcium, zinc, and other minerals fundamental for maintaining bone, muscle, and immune health. Additionally, some seeds contain allergenic substances that, with the passing of years and the natural alteration of the immune system, can trigger inflammatory responses in the body. These responses, when they become chronic, accelerate joint wear, impair intestinal function, and even contribute to the development of autoimmune diseases. And if that weren't enough, the slower metabolism in old age also makes the digestion process more delicate. Foods that are difficult to digest, like some seeds, can ferment in the intestine, causing gas, bloating, poor nutrient absorption, and in more severe cases, inflammations that drain the body's energy. That's why it's so important to be attentive. Often the difference between a day full of energy and a dragging day lies in small details that go unnoticed. But, as we've already said here, you don't need to worry, because all of this has a solution. And most importantly, you are here, seeking information, wanting to better understand your body and prepare to live this rich phase of life in the best way possible. In the next few minutes, we will dive even deeper into this topic. We'll talk about the most common mistakes people make when trying to include seeds in their diet, and how this can, unintentionally, make the problem even worse. You'll understand what should be avoided and what can be done to truly strengthen your health. So stick with me, because what comes next could be the key to transforming your health, your energy, and your quality of life in a much simpler and more effective way than you imagine. As the years go by, our body undergoes profound changes that are often silent, but have a great impact on how we process food. Metabolism, which was once fast and efficient, naturally begins to slow down. The production of digestive enzymes decreases, making the process of breaking down and absorbing nutrients slower and more sensitive. The intestine, which is one of the main responsible for our immunity and overall body balance, also becomes more vulnerable. The intestinal walls may become more fragile, and the ability to absorb important vitamins and minerals may decrease. Furthermore, with advancing age, the chances of developing food intolerances increase, even to foods we've consumed our entire lives without problems. This happens because the immune system changes. It can become more reactive to certain foods, generating internal inflammation that we often don't immediately notice, but over time can greatly affect our energy, mood, and even the health of our bones and joints. Now imagine putting seeds on your plate daily that require even greater effort from your digestive system to break down and process. Seeds that carry anti-nutrients like phytates and lectins, substances that hinder the absorption of iron, zinc, calcium, and other essential minerals. When these substances repeatedly come into contact with an already more sensitive intestine, they can cause irritation, increase intestinal permeability, and consequently trigger silent inflammatory processes. These inflammations don't hurt at first, but they gradually set in, and in the long term, they can worsen arthritis conditions, impair diabetes control, hinder muscle mass maintenance, increase joint pain, and compromise the immune system. All this happens silently, without major warning signs at first, until the effects begin to be felt more intensely in daily life. Another serious problem is the accumulation of toxins. Some seeds contain compounds that, when poorly digested, increase the production of inflammatory substances in the body. This can overload the liver and kidneys, two organs that already work more slowly with passing years. The result can be chronic fatigue, bloating, difficulty concentrating, increased bad cholesterol, and other discomforts that add up and decrease quality of life. And do you know what the worst part is? Most people don't imagine that the problem could be coming precisely from something that seems so healthy. After all, who would suspect that such a tiny seed could cause so much imbalance? That's why it's so common to think that everything natural is automatically good for everyone at any stage of life. But unfortunately, it's not quite like that. One of the most common mistakes we see out there is the excessive consumption of raw seeds. Many people add spoonfuls of seeds to smoothies, salads, yogurts, and juices, believing they are increasing their daily health dose. And unknowingly, they are bombarding their digestive system with an excessive amount of insoluble fibers and anti-nutrients that the body, already more delicate, cannot efficiently handle. Another very frequent mistake is not properly preparing these seeds. Some need to be soaked, that is, left in water for a few hours before consumption to reduce the amount of anti-nutrients and make digestion easier. Without this step, the risk of intestinal irritation increases considerably. But as few talk about this, it's common to find people who consume seeds as they buy them, believing they are taking full advantage of their benefits, when in reality, they are harming their own health. And then, there's the quality problem. Not all seeds available for sale are of good origin. Often, they are stored for a long time in inadequate conditions, accumulating fungi, toxins, and invisible contaminants that can further aggravate inflammation in the body. Those with more vulnerable immune systems, as is the case for most elderly, run a greater risk of suffering from these silent contaminants. So you can see how this is more common than it seems. Imagine Mrs. Katie, 68 years old. She was always very careful with her diet. She liked to follow the latest health and wellness trends. One day, she watched a report talking about the benefits of seeds and decided to include them in her diet. She started adding seeds to breakfast, lunch, and even quick snacks. At first, it seemed great, but after a few weeks, intestinal discomfort, joint pain, and a constant feeling of tiredness began to emerge. Mrs. Katie thought it was the weight of age, or that she was going through a stressful phase. Only after a consultation with a nutrition specialist did she discover that the excessive and poorly guided consumption of seeds was overloading her body. This story of Mrs. Katie perfectly illustrates what so many people experience without realizing it. These are habits we adopt with the best of intentions, but due to lack of adequate information, end up moving us away from the health we seek so much. And that's why it's so important to talk about this topic in an open, clear, and non-judgmental way. Because it's not about lack of care or mistake. It's about something we simply weren't taught. But what matters is that, now that you are learning this information, it's possible to make better choices and achieve much more positive results for your health. Another very common mistake that deserves mention is blindly trusting fads. Often, the media promotes certain foods as miraculous superfoods without considering the specific needs of each life stage. What is excellent for a young person with a fast metabolism and resilient intestines may be a challenge for someone who is past 60 years of age and needs gentler digestion and easily absorbed nutrients. Each body is unique, and respecting this moment is fundamental to having more energy, less pain, and a more fulfilling life. You see how easy it is to fall into these traps? Often it's because people want to do the right thing, to take care of themselves, that they end up making these mistakes. And there's no reason to feel guilty about it. On the contrary, the fact that you're here, seeking to better understand what happens inside your body, already shows how much you value your health and quality of life. The good news is that by identifying these habits and correcting these small errors, positive results begin to appear quickly. Digestion improves, sleep becomes more restorative, energy returns, pains reduce, and a sense of well-being takes over your days. Small changes bring great transformations, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about in the next section. Many people go through this and make these mistakes without realizing it. But don't worry, because in the next section we're going to talk about what really works. We'll present practical, safe, and easy-to-adopt solutions so that you can, once and for all, strengthen your health, protect your body, and make the most of this wonderful phase of life. So stay with me, because now it's time to learn what to do to put all the power of intelligent eating in your favor and achieve a lighter, more active, and much happier life. Now tell me in the comments, where are you from, and if you identified with any of the habits we've discussed so far. Knowing that you're following along and recognizing yourself is very important for making this conversation increasingly personal and transformative. The time has come to reveal what these 5 seeds are that deserve your extra attention after 60. The first one is raw flaxseed. Despite being widely promoted as a source of omega-3, raw flaxseed contains substances called anti-nutrients, which can irritate the intestine and hinder the absorption of essential minerals. In people with slower digestion, as often happens in the elderly, raw flaxseed can increase the risk of silent inflammations and digestive discomfort. The alternative here is to consume flaxseed in the form of golden flour in small quantities, always hydrated in water before consumption to facilitate digestion. The second seed that deserves care is chia. It is also famous for its health benefits, but excess chia, especially when consumed dry, can cause intestinal discomfort, gas, bloating, and even hinder the absorption of important nutrients. The secret is to consume hydrated chia, meaning soak it in water for at least 20 minutes until it forms that gel, and always in small portions, so as not to overload the digestive system. The third seed is the sunflower seed. Here, the biggest problem lies in quality and storage. Sunflower seeds that are stored for a long time can easily oxidize, accumulating invisible toxins that, upon entering the body, increase inflammation and overload the liver. For those who already have a slower metabolism, this can pose a significant risk. The tip is to prefer fresh sunflower seeds from reliable sources and consume them lightly toasted, without exaggerating the quantity. The fourth is the pumpkin seed. Despite having many nutrients, when consumed raw and in excess, it can be difficult to digest and contribute to intestinal discomfort. Additionally, old or poorly preserved pumpkin seeds can also accumulate harmful fungi and toxins. The guidance is to consume home-toasted pumpkin seeds, always fresh, and preferably in small quantities as a complement to dishes, and not as the basis of your diet. Finally, the fifth and last seed that requires attention is raw cashews. Many people don't know, but raw cashews contain a substance called urushiol, which can cause irritation in the digestive system and even allergic reactions in more sensitive people. The safe alternative is to consume roasted and unsalted cashews, always moderating the amount to avoid overloading the body. These 5 seeds, although natural, require special care after the age of 60. What might be a superfood for some can turn into a silent source of discomfort, inflammation, and loss of vitality for others. And now that you know this, you can make much more intelligent and protective choices for your body. If this made sense to you, share it with someone who also needs this information. It can make all the difference in the life of a loved one. Sometimes, simple guidance is all that's missing to avoid a lot of unnecessary suffering. Now that you know these 5 seeds that require care, it's also important to know alternatives that can bring real benefits for those over 60. As we mentioned, hydrated flaxseed is an excellent choice, but always in the right amount. Sesame seeds, preferably lightly toasted, are a safe and wonderful source of calcium and iron. Almonds, when soaked and peeled, are great options to strengthen bones and muscles, besides being much lighter for digestion. Another excellent alternative is sprouted seeds. The sprouting process transforms seeds, reducing anti-nutrients and making nutrients much more available to the body. You can sprout sunflower seeds, alfalfa, or even lentils at home in a simple and safe way, ensuring a rich source of living vitamins for your body. In addition, including foods that help protect the intestine and reduce inflammation in your daily routine is essential. Fruits such as papaya, cooked apple, and avocado are great allies. Steamed vegetables such as zucchini, carrots, and chayote are also very welcome for those who need a more peaceful digestion. Maintaining proper hydration, prioritizing fresh foods, chewing well, and avoiding excesses are habits that, combined with seed care, will make all the difference in your well-being. Small choices made with attention and care create a solid foundation for lighter days, more peaceful nights, and a life with much more freedom and joy. If you like content like this, click like, subscribe, and activate the bell to receive more health and wellness tips. We're together on this journey, and every step you take is a big step toward a happier life full of vitality. See how it's not complicated? When we understand what our body needs, everything becomes easier. Instead of fighting against the body's signals, we start collaborating with it. And the results naturally appear: more energy, less pain, better quality of life. And it doesn't matter how long you've gone without knowing this information. It's never too late to do things differently. It's never too late to take better care of yourself. The body has an incredible capacity to regenerate, strengthen, and respond positively to the right care. And if you want to solve this once and for all, check out the link we left here in the description with more detailed guidance. There you'll find even more comprehensive material, designed especially for those who want to take firm and safe steps toward more vibrant health. Your body is your greatest ally, and with care and attention, it can surprise you every day. Just offer what it really needs, at the right time and in the right way. It's like planting a new seed this time, a seed of self-love and a full life. Adopting new habits is a gift you give yourself at any point in life. A gift that will blossom in the form of more energy, more happiness, and more freedom to live everything that is yet to come. Taking care of yourself is the best choice you can make, and the best time for that is now. It doesn't matter how much time has passed or the difficulties you have already faced. What matters is that today you have the chance to put yourself first, to invest in your health, your well-being, and your happiness. Each small step you take, each conscious choice you make, becomes a gift for your future. A future with more energy to enjoy the days, with more disposition to do what you like, and with more freedom to live fully. Your body is wise, and even if it has gone through challenges, it is always ready to renew itself, to strengthen, to start over. You just need to offer it what it really needs: real food, movements that bring joy, moments of rest, and above all, lots of love and respect. Remember, it's never too late to bloom. It's never too late to discover new possibilities, to transform your health, and to feel proud of the person you are becoming. Each day is a new opportunity to choose the best for yourself, to strengthen your body, your mind, and your spirit. You deserve to live with lightness, with vitality, with joy, and with the freedom to enjoy life to its fullest. And this transformation begins with the decision you make today, now for yourself, with love, courage, and confidence in the path you are walking.